Hello, everyone. What a month it has been. My goodness. Woo! A heat dome over the Pacific Northwest. Temperatures 1 in 10,000 chances of hitting. Basically over 100 degrees for multiple days in a row. Very, very hot. And in addition, I decided to upgrade my cistern a little bit beforehand to include some overflow redundancy. Unfortunately, I didn't seat the washer and hose connection properly, so my cistern leaked all over the place. I lost most all my water, and it hasn't rained yet. So, I have been trucking to the state park in my Prius and picking up water back and forth, back and forth. It has been a thing. But that rolls right into the farm update. The heat dome, unfortunately, claimed some plant friends. The broccoli, toast, what else? Peppers gone. Maybe 2 that are still left. Turns out if you're going to go through a 1 in 10,000 event, keep plants in little plastic containers above the ground so that the water that they're holding, especially if you can't be around for a few days, we'll get to that, the water won't go everywhere. And it'll actually stay confined to that root ball, and the plant will have a much higher chance of survival, in my personal experience. But not all is lost. The potatoes are doing amazing. I am so happy because I love potatoes. Right there. Can you see them? Very hard to eye this with all this glare, but I think you can see the potatoes here. Give you a little zoom around. Those are the potatoes that are still cooking. The onions. Got a couple tomatoes going. And I'm really curious now about companion plants and what cover crops to put with these various species, because I want to facilitate healthy biomes as opposed to just one species growing that'll totally encourage various bugs that love, say, only potatoes. They would thrive there. If there's multiple species, it's harder for them to narrow down. And then also I have some chard and sunflowers that were wonderfully donated to the farm. Thank you very much. I've had some critters eat some things because I haven't been around, like little starts. I'm really learning the value of putting medium starts in the ground. And, the greenhouse is going to be wonderful for getting my little starts going in February. And in addition to the farm, I've been spending a lot of time on just life, relationships, to all the ones we've loved and the ones we've lost, right? Spending time with family, and that brings me to I'm getting to enjoy a wonderful trip with my dad. I'm so grateful. He decided to buy a sailboat before retiring, and we are sailing. I get to join him. He is sailing down from Vancouver, BC, as a dual citizen, vaccinated, coming down the coast, and I met him in Blaine, Washington, the most northern tip of the United States. That's as far as I could go via public transportation. And have been sailing with him. I sailed with him 6 days straight. He was on the water for about 7.5 days, and we've just been hopping ports, seeing beautiful Washington nature and countryside, sailing with the wind when we can, and it's not too crazy, choppy, scary. It has been amazing. Going under the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, phenomenal. And so I'm just grateful I get to learn these wonderful nautical skills. Living on an island, being so close to the water, you just kind of got to know how to use a boat. I plan to get a teeny tiny little sailboat sometime, maybe like a dinghy with a sail when I can. But the big old plan with Dad was sail down from up north, come here, and work on projects for a little while. It's been just an incredible process. My dad's helped me with designing the structure before we even dug a hole in the ground. And even recently, he was up on the hot roof in this, just insane temperatures. He said his hand was burning if he just touched the black asphalt, which I believe. It's designed to hold heat. And, so what did we start on? We got the southern siding done. Check this out. So, now instead of just building paper, there's actual siding on the front of this thing. And then we did some trim. You can see, again, no flappy building paper. It actually is kind of a clean edge. I love it. Did it around the building. And then we did some roof flashing because the interface between my acrylic roof and the asphalt was leaking due to wind-driven rain that would push the rain up in the little corrugated valleys, and then it would drip through. So after racking our brains, came up with a pretty decent solution. We put another strip of asphalt roofing about 6 inches, so there's a 3 inch overlap over the interface, and then put some great stuff, spray foam inside. And it was a little messy, and I have a lot of cleanup work to do, but I think it will hold the rain out, and that will be a huge. And then after getting the trim done, transom windows. That was the one I originally did. And then this last weekend got two and an additional east transom window operational. These ones are far superior than the ones I hobbled together. These ones now are double paned acrylic. They're actually quite wonderful to look through, and they have some sweet galvanized cleats that hold them to the wall. Wasn't too expensive, and it's just a nice solution for having operable windows that aren't going to immediately lose heat. The insulation will provide help, but I need thermal mass to hold the heat on the inside. And that's just scratching the surface of what needs to be done out here. I intend to now finish the window gaskets and the siding around the windows, because unfortunately you always find little things that need additional finagling, but it's okay. It's going to be great. I have the gasket, I have the materials. It's just going to take time. And then I am devising what I am calling the fire hut right now. I want to build a masonry structure out here behind the greenhouse, maybe about 4 feet in diameter. That's going to serve as both an oven and a cooking surface for me that I can then heat water and pump through the greenhouse, and then have a conventional radiator up here that if I want to warm this building, I'll be able to do it via this fire hut. Originally, I was thinking about putting a wood stove in here, but upon further reflection, if it's the summer and it's super hot out, this thing is already a tinderbox, and having an additional heat source in there, no bueno, impossible to sleep. And in the winter, a conventional radiator is very, very common. They've been doing them for centuries. Well, maybe not centuries, okay, half a century or something. They've been moving water through piping using hot sources and then heating chambers. So I'm going to do some calculations, see what I can come up with just to see if it's reasonable. And if I decide to go with it, it's going to be significantly cheaper, maybe $500 to $1,000, instead of a stove that would be up to code for probably about $2,500. So it seems like something worth pursuing, at least to understand if I should do it or not. Thanks for tuning in again. You know, it's been a crazy month. I appreciate you all. I'm just so grateful to be here, and life is getting simpler. Cheers, everyone.